Alright, welcome to my channel. I'm your teacher Yves Lexus. So, semaine ça nous allons apprendre de verbes anglais, ok? Verbe extrêmement important, c'est moteur en phrase. Lorsque on conjugue verbe ou bien, ou qu'on comment pour utiliser, ou qu'on temps, donc lui permettre de parler avec plus confiance, ok? Donc de ce fait, je souhaite qu'on pas ignorer le leçon ça. So please, this is not a lesson. This lesson that I'm about to teach you, you know, sometimes it might seem a little bit cumbersome or difficult, but it's not something we need to ignore, okay? Because what I'm trying to do here is to build your confidence. And whether you are in front of millions of Americans, you will be okay to speak with that same confidence that we're about to build here. But you have to do your part, is to actually learn them. Do not ignore this, okay? So that's the verb. All right, so let's get right into it. Okay, so what is a verb? Well, a verb may be used to describe an action, a state of being, or an occurrence. An occurrence is something that happens, okay? So a verb also can give a description of what the subject of a sentence is doing. And then we're gonna see that later, okay? All right, so you can't talk about verb without tense. Tense expresses time, okay? So, on parle de temps, dès que ça n'a pas, on parle de présent, par exemple, passé, et puis futur, all right? So, present, as you know, that's the current moment. That's the moment that I'm speaking right now, so that's the present. Past, it comes before this current moment that I'm speaking. Now, nous connaissons nous-mêmes haïtiens, nous avons tendance, dans la façon que nous parlons, nous avons tendance à faire un bagay qui saute passé là, kounya comme un bagay qui présent. Par exemple, gon moun qui relève dans téléphone en l'air, puis il dit comme ça, côté et tel moun, il dit, ok, monsieur à peine quitté là, oui, kounya là, monsieur quitté, mais monsieur qui a quitté, espace côté mia déjà. Donc, et puis, pas utiliser passé pour lui parce que je voulais faire sentir monsieur tellement bagué longtemps depuis qu'il était là. Donc, c'est pas ça. Automatiquement, on a quitté l'espace là et automatiquement, il pas dans le moment que nous y a là. Donc, il est passé. Est-ce que vous comprenez? On dit par exemple, on moun saute là. Well, that person just called, right? Just called, even though it's just 1 second. But if I'm talking right now and that didn't happen as we speak, then that's the past tense, okay? Very important. Future, of course, this is its later action will take place after the current moment. For instance, after this, we will, okay? Hasn't happened yet, all right? So, on allait là, English verb, basic verb forms. N'a pas partir avec exemple et talk, okay? So, talk, par exemple. So I've got it out. The base form is talk, okay? The present, like I talk, you talk, he talks, parce qu'elles sont verbes réguliers, okay? Donc tout verbe régulier, yo, the third person singular ends with an S, okay? He talks, she talks, all right? Now the past tense. For all regular verbs, the past tense ends with ed. I talked, okay? Past tense. We talked, all right? Always ends with ed. Infinitive, of course, le plus souvent, les gagnants ont tout qui est placé devant. For instance, to talk, to speak, to drive, etc. Okay, present, participle. Well, that's always end with an ing, like talking, okay, as you can see here. And then the past participle is talked with the ed, which is really almost the same thing as the past right there. Okay, now let's continue. Infinitives. Okay, that's the non-conjugated part of the verb, like often preceded by to, just like we were saying, like to talk, to drive, to sleep, to sit, to walk, to eat, you know, to listen, okay, to see. All of those are infinitives, okay? You baguetan, of course, they have no tense or mood, okay? To eat, etc. and so on. Participles, you même to you baguetan too, have no tense. Et on se montre tout à l'heure, okay, like talking, for instance. They have no tense, like nous sommes deux, donc no tense, like talked, and then talking, no tense, no or mood. Now, mood or modes for plural, ou bien pluriel, plural, what does it do? It reflects the speaker's view, and they are, what are they? The indicative, imperative, and the subjunctive. Very important. So they are the what? Indicative, imperative, and the subjunctive. Okay? Alright, so let's move on to the next one. So what is conjugation then? So we just talked about the infinitive. That's a non-conjugated part of the verb. Now, what is conjugation? So conjugations is how we inflect verbs, or in other words, it's how we change the form to reflect the tense, the mood, or in, of course, voice. Nous toujours donner la voix passive et la voix active en français. So that's what conjugation. Again, this is just a high overview. Very quickly, you get active voice, for instance. So active voice, it's when the subject performs the action, right? For instance, the cat eats the mouse. I accept your nomination for President of the United States. That was Hillary Clinton. Now, toujours prêtez attention à comment prononcer moi, ok? Très important. Now, déjà me dit Hillary Clinton. En pile fois, elle a parlé, nous dit Clinton. It's not clean, it's Clinton. It's either you say Clinton or Clinton. Okay, so it's Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton. Alright, so it's very important. Passive. For passive, it's somewhat different. It's the opposite of that. Now, it's the object that becomes the subject. So the mouse is eaten by the cat. Okay? Or if you don't want to say eaten, you can say eaten. Okay, the mouse is eaten by the cat. But accent américain, alors plus souvent américain, on va toujours dire eaten. Okay, you're not gonna say eaten, etc. Right? So very important, so that you know it. The nomination for President of the U.S. was accepted. You see what happens with the passive voice? Was accepted by who? By Hillary Clinton. Okay, so the nomination for the President of the U.S. was accepted by who? By Hillary Clinton. Okay, so I just want to make sure you guys understand that. Guys, je prends temps et pour nous parler de ça. Again, fait plus de temps dans ma vie aux États-Unis qu'en Haïti. So, je passe dans sagesse tonton. Donc, je souhaite nous prendre ça pour nous capables apprendre. Puis là, ici, et vient comprendre que qui était qu'on a passé nous-mêmes lorsqu'on est en Haïti, de vient comprendre que on parle anglais lorsque vous venez ici. Okay? So, mood. The English language has 3 modes of speech. C'est ça dont on a parlé tout à l'heure. The indicative, the imperative, and the subjunctive. Now, when do you use them? That's very important. Why and when? The purpose. You can use the indicative to ask questions, exclamation, or make a statement. Okay? And then we're going to give you some example later. Imperative, that you know about that, right? You give order, command, all right? Command or request. How about the subjunctive? You can use it to express a wish, hypothetical, or reporting. Okay? Wish, hypothetical, or reporting, to name a few. Okay, now, quelques exemples pour indicative. Tablier, you can use it to ask questions, exclamation, or make a statement. For instance, I like to drive. Okay? Okay, I like to drive. That's a statement that you just made here. The mouse was eaten by the cat. Are you going to work tomorrow? That's a question that you just ask him. Are you going to work tomorrow? Est-ce que vous allez travailler demain? Are you going to work tomorrow? Par exemple, le plus souvent nous-mêmes par humilité, nous toujours lorsqu'on a dit demain, nous toujours dit demain si Dieu veut. Donc américain pas jamais toujours dit ça, ok? Vraiment, il y a haïtien, il y a besoin de ça, God's willing, dans le sens que si bon Dieu plaît, etc. Mais américain pas toujours mettant qu'il y a une phase soit fait question demain si Dieu veut, ok? Alright, perfect. So now, imperative. you give order, okay, request, command, right? So, example, drink the water. That's an order. That's a, you just drink the water. I don't give you a choice whether you want to drink the water or not. I'm asking you, this is what I want you to do. I want you to drink the water. That's an order that I give you. Son l'ordre que me passe. Please pass the salt. Okay? That's a command. Alright? Request. Don't forget to call me, etc. So those three sentences, okay, you get order, command, and make a request. Ça veut dire comme si ce sont sorte de demande, etc. Alright? Perfect. Alright, subjunctive, that's the third one. You express wish, hypothetical, suggestions, reporting, and so forth. So hypothetical is more like et lorsque ou ta vle di yon bagay qui qu'on t'a peut-être souhaité arriver, t'as pour wish, etc. Okay? So again, subjunctive expresses wish, hypothetical, suggestions, reporting, etc. Okay, present subjunctive. Ça lui-même, it's a little bit more complicated, but I love it. It's so beautiful. It really, once you get this down, I'm just being real with y'all, you cannot ignore this. Once you get this down, it just makes things a lot more easier and wonderful when you speak, okay? You become very creative. So present subjunctive. Use with that clause succeeding verbs, adjectives, nouns. Okay, so the present subjunctive takes the basic form of the verb, like for instance, par exemple, talk. In the third person singular does not have an S. Ou est différence? Songez à l'âme de Dieu comme ça que lorsque vous avez un verbe régulier, ok, c'est ça me dit. Lorsque vous avez un verbe régulier à la troisième personne du singulier, il prend S. Tandis que when I have the present subjunctive, how do you form the present subjunctive? Yes, you have, okay, with that, okay, et vous rajoutez verbe, adjectif ou bien nom après. But the present subjunctive takes the basic form, like talk for instance, and the third person singular does not have an S. Example là. I suggested that he go home early. Tandis que, si bat gain au subjonctif, on dit ça me dit, he goes, ES, he goes home. But guess what I'm saying here now? I suggested that he, third person singular, go home early. No S. Okay? She demanded that he, ou pas sur d'avoir un S là? No. She demanded that he apologize instead of apologizes. So it's she demanded that he apologize for his behavior. Okay? Li mande pou mande pardon à cause de comportement. Okay? Moins suggéré que moins suggéré que la lakali bonheur. Okay? She demanded that he apologize for his behavior. Instead of saying he apologizes, we're saying he apologized for his behavior. All right? So present subject passive, débouta des passive voice to be, verb to be, which we're going to get to later. Verb to be plus the past participle, always use. For instance, the judge, that's how you form it. So first you need to be, you need be, and then the past participle of the verb. The judge requested that the evidence be presented in court. Okay? The judge requested that the evidence be presented in court. Alright? Very important. The judge requested that the evidence be presented in court. Ok? Juge la mandé pour porter preuve yo vini dans tribunal là. Donc, ça yo, pas gen trop protocole. Alright? Okay, now, let's start parler de present subjunctive. Now, let's touch on past subjunctive. Qui ça le fait? Describe hypothetical or unreal conditions frequently used after words like if, it's like let's go about the hypothetical. If, though, wish, or suppose, okay? All of that. And then the past subjunctive is often called the were form. Ok, nous connaissons que verbe to be, lorsque nous avons conjugué, c'est I am, you are, he is, okay, she is, etc. Okay, we were, they were. Okay, you were, they were. Alright, now, au passé, comment le former? Comment verbe être là lui-même? C'est I was, you were, okay, he, she, it was, okay, he was, she was, it was. Okay, so that's the third person singular. Now look what's gonna happen here. I wish I were. I don't even say I wish I was. Example, if, okay, let's pick that first one first. If he, I don't say if he was rich. If he were rich, okay? Past subjunctive. If he were rich, he would buy me a BMW. There should be an A here. If he were rich, he would buy me a BMW. Now, that's why we call it the were form, okay? You're probably first time hearing that, but yeah, you can call it the were form, which means like, it's almost like when you said, I was, you were, okay? Type of thing. So that's why it says it's called a were form, because usually when you use that if, then verbe ça, même si m'gon troisième personne singulier là, verbe là, nous changer comme si c'était soit deuxième personne singulier ou bien troisième personne du pluriel. Par exemple, they were, okay, that's troisième personne du pluriel, ou bien you were, that's deuxième personne du singulier. Okay, so if he were rich, he would buy me a BMW. I wish I were home. Alright, you don't even say I wish I was home. Now, si vous moun qui dit ça, est-ce que le bagage, non, est-ce que les péchés graves pour ça? Non, mais at least et on moun qui t'en doit parler comme ça, il dit ok, monsieur gen ti ba nan men. If you tried, you could do it. Ça c'est les concordances des temps. Okay? If you tried, première partie phrase là, okay, et puis deuxième partie phrase là, of course you can't say you can. If you tried, that's past tense of to try, okay? Try son verbe l'écrit T-R-Y, donc verbe qui finit et en Y yo, que m'gal prépare en liste pour vous, eh bien ou retirer Y là, eh bien ou ajouter I, et puis of course ou ajouter ed après comme les son verbe qui est régulier. Ok, perfect. Past subjunctive passive, il vous des passive, always be, will be involved. And let's see, you combine it with where, okay, that's to be, right? With the past tense, remember past subjunctive is the were form, then of course your were should be repeated here, right? It's not going to be was, so it's your were with the past participle, okay? Then, so here's an example. We would be thrilled if our invitation were accepted. We would be thrilled if our invitation were accepted. So that's very important, okay? So again, how do you combine it? Okay, here's how you form that past subjunctive passive. You combine it with where. Here's where, and then the past tense. That's the past tense of to accept. It's accepted. Okay, it's a regular verb. Then therefore you need to add ed after it. That's why you said accepted. Okay, c'est passé. Okay, perfect. All right. So next, future subjunctive now. Okay, indicates an action or state that may potentially occur. Okay, may potentially occur. All right, capable privé, donc c'est bon bagay qui totalement, okay. Potentially it may occur, but it may not. Future subjunctive active. How do you form that? You combine the auxiliary or helping verb should with the basic form of the verb form. Okay, let's take a look. If I should be in Paris next month, I will call you. Okay, so comment former? You combine the auxiliary or helping verb. Okay, talk about example, to be, that's a helping verb or auxiliary verb. To have, that's a helping verb or auxiliary verb. Le plus souvent ici, tu aurais le helping verb, ok? Au lieu de dire ça, ça les verbes avoir ou bien verbe être. C'est des verbes auxiliaires. Par exemple, l'autre jour, et la police, c'est l'auxiliaire de la justice. Ok, donc ça veut dire qu'il est là pour l'aider, est-ce que vous comprenez? Ici, la police, il y aurait non seulement police, mais il y aurait tout law enforcement. Ok, moun qui est là pour renforcer la loi. Alright? So, parfait. So, if I should be in Paris, see should, alright, that's the helping verb here, with the basic form of the verb. Well, be, that's to be, that's the basic form of the verb. It's be, not if I should to be, no, it's I should be. We want just the basic form of the verb. We don't want the infinitive. We don't want it to be conjugated either. In Paris, next month, and I'll call you. See, when you speak like that in front of people, they're like, yeah, this guy, he's got it all together. Okay? Future subjunctive passive. Depende de passive qui s'en dit to be. Well, mais comment le faire? Should be. Okay? Followed by the past participle. Alright? So you here it was just should. Okay? It's not should be. Here it was just should. But with the passive, you have should be altogether and then followed by the past participle, just like you did with the other ones that we just talked about. More example. If I should be, if she should be hurt, please inform me immediately. If she should be hurt, please inform me immediately. Now, again, when you know after the liability, ça, non, pas dit ça. Excellence sont très bons bagages. Bon niveau capable jamais qu'arriver si gon série de gens ou pas capable. D'ailleurs nous connaissons pour monde qui ici déjà nous connaît Amérique, son pays monde connaît l'idée. OK? So, très important. Now, present, let's touch very quickly on present participle before we wrap it up, before we put an end to this lesson. Of course, a present participle relates to activities taking place now or later. Okay, present participles relate to activities taking place now or later. Okay, how do you form it? You need to add ing to the basic form of the verb. Okay, present active participle, and of course you're gonna have present passive participle. How do you construct that? Well, it's being constructed by attaching ing to the simple form. Like for instance, eat, eating, you add ing, clean, cleaning, drop, caring, caring ends with an e. So, and it's a silent e, then therefore you need to drop the e and then before you add your ing, as you can see here. Of course, for the present passive participle, comment former? Well, they would be passive, always gonna have be, so you use being with the past participle. Okay, being with the past participle. All right, so here's the last slide for you. Basic form, for example, walk, eat, play, talk, sell, drive, etc. Other forms includes the S or ES form. That's the present tense for the third person singular of all the regular verbs. You got the ing form, and of course you got the ed form for the past tense for all regular verbs, and you got the ed form for the past participle of those verbs. So S or ES form, present tense. You see, third person singular, walks, drives, talks, etc. Because it's all regular verb and they have an S for the third person singular. So ing form or present participle, of course ing, playing, talking, and so forth. Walking, eating, and ed. All right, that's the ed form, past tense. Okay, talked, walked, played, and then the ed form for past participle, of course, walked, played, talked. Okay, to walk, that's the infinitive. Just to recap, to walk, that's the infinitive. Walks, that's the third person singular, and it's a regular verb. Of course, there is an S. Walked, that's the past participle, that's the past we just saw here. Walking, okay, present participle, and then walked, that's the past participle. Okay, perfect. That's it for this lesson. Again, I know that one takes a little bit of time. Definitely want to run over the time limit that we normally set for our teaching, our videos, but I hope it was all worth it, and just keep on learning, and we'll see you shortly.